Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Pepe, seeing what's going on here today. Obviously, I hope you're enjoying the show, the bloodbath effectively to the downside. I laugh because this happens all the time, unfortunately, with these kind of coins. You can see these large manipulation events where the price action just gets dumped super hard in short amounts of time. Like, take a look at these large candles. Just massive drops. For, well, I wouldn't say no apparent reason. It's just profits being taken from those who hold a large position sizes. And unfortunately, the other one's controlling the market. So you got to be ready for that. Got to expect it. It's kind of common, par for the course. By the way, not here to preach about that. What we are here to do is kind of just reevaluate some things. We're going to have to redraw out some Fibonacci retracement levels here, as well as kind of just talk a little bit about this previous support range working as a new resistance. So we're just going to go ahead and flip the switch here. That is now a resistance level. So once again, the level 146 is a likely resistance area. Okay. We also want to go ahead and take a previous support range here and kind of pull it out as well to verify and double check, kind of see where the bottom might be for us if we keep going lower. Okay, so the next major support is right there at about 105. Okay, so we're going to pull up some fibs here for the most recent high, or most recent low to most recent high, of course. And just kind of work with that here as well. So just keep in mind, if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people trade. Hope you can learn something here today. And yes, technical analysis does affect these kind of coins, regardless of meme coin or not. But the thing we got to recognize is that there's a strong correlation between Pepe and Bitcoin, right? So let's take a look here at Bitcoin. You can see the massive sell-off here. Basically, last 3 days, we've seen strong red behavior. Coincidentally, strong red behavior here from Pepe too. So don't fool yourself. It's very much aligned with Bitcoin, not to a T, but very, very close. Okay. Important thing to note. Also, before we jump in here, I want to let you know there's a few slots left available for BINGX. We got originally 100 new users can register, benefiting from a $10,000 reward. Basically $100 in trading bonus, no minimum trading required. You just have no deposit required either. You can just jump on there, literally get that deposit within a few days, and start trading with it. So it's a lot of cool, fun things here on BINGX. They're a really cool exchange. I still love BitGet, don't get wrong. That is absolutely still a good exchange. But this one's beneficial because you don't need a VPN in Canada, Europe, Oceania, US, or UK. And of course, there's no KYC either. So it's our pivot from from Bybit over to BINGX, right? So basically trading that over there. Again, in the States, it's nice to be able to have that feature without KYC. So when it comes to Pepe, though, what we want to look at is on the daily a few things, right? First of all, we got to note that we are now below 50 on the RSI. We talked about this yesterday. Was starting to get below there, and it officially closed pretty strong underneath. So no surprise that we've lost that level. It's just a matter of time before that happens. You can only test that for so many times before it breaks. So that is now effectively a resistance, concurrent once again with that 146 range. You can see we're still diverging on the MACD here as well. We're starting to see a little bit more picking up to the downside. That should slow down, but generally speaking, we are seeing stochastics extremely overextended to the down. So in all reality, I don't think we've hit our bottom yet, but we're probably getting closer to it, okay? Keep in mind, it's still a long ways away. I mean, really, we look at this here, even though we are overextended pretty significantly, it can still continue to run, right? There's no doubt that this will continue to digress as Bitcoin continues to do so as well. Now, Bitcoin has had a decent last hour or two, whereas Pepe is still struggling. So you got to keep in mind, just because Bitcoin increases doesn't mean Pepe will. The bottom line here is that when Bitcoin decreases, Pepe goes down. When Bitcoin increases, Pepe either goes sideways or still down. And that's a terrible correlation. We don't want to see that. That's unfortunate. That is absolutely what's happening here with Pepe. So just keep that in mind. Not a lot of reasons why you want to take a long position right now. Okay, a lot of folks are getting liquidated. It's just not a good situation. I mean, we even got stopped out on our position here. It was a spot long. We hit like 6% stop loss. It happens, right? Glad we did that though, because it would probably be about a 25% stop loss had we hold on, right? That's why stop losses are actually beneficial. People need to realize that. You kind of want to be thankful for them because they're very, very helpful. That's why you set them in the first place. Either way, taking a look here at the RSI. Extremely overextended. This is another reason why I feel like we're probably going to see a turnaround here in the relative near future. Because not only are we overextended on TD sequential, we can see that we are about almost 7 or 8 4-hour candles. We're basically a full 24 hours into our overextended state. We can also see the RSI is way, way, way low here. We haven't seen this kind of RSI on Pepe yet, but we haven't lost such a strong support level yet either. So there's that as well. We can also see, of course, the price action pretty much rejected off of 50 in the RSI here. So we'll keep that as a potential resistance. So once more, 146 is probably the likely resistance zone there, okay? So why don't we take a quick peek over here at the hourly and see what's going on. When it comes to Ichimoku Cloud, this is what we want to kind of pay attention to. We still have all green lights for a short position to keep it open. No reason to go ahead and close out. Price action is moving down. We can see the price action effectively Trying to stabilize here at this lower Fibonacci retracement level, about 122, but we can still see lagging spans free and clear, conversion lines below the baseline, and obviously we've got the everything kind of on the wrong side of the tracks here. So again, if you have a short position open, wouldn't hurt to keep it open because it could come down lower. But once again, as we get further and further and more overextended on the 4 hour, the likelihood of a pullback to the upside would make more sense. So keep in mind, even though we are still overextended, there's a great chance, a stronger chance we're going to see a pullback. Especially we got 9s on TD sequential or overtime on TD sequential on the hourly and the 4 hour. The more likelihood we're going to see a bounce here in the relative near future. And when I say bounce, we're not talking about going parabolic to the moon. You got to get that out of your head. That's probably a low probability right now. But the likelihood of the price coming up to test a more recent high, if you will, like this one here, for example, the 131 range, that could very well be a retest here. Okay, so we could see that. But once more, at this point, not really, all signs are pointing down. Even though we are overextended, I wouldn't expect a significant run. It would probably be some, at best case scenario, or a dead cat bounce, right? There's potential for that. So, either way, that's kind of what we're looking at there for the hourly. We could quickly peek over the 15-minute and kind of see what's going on here. Bollinger Bands are giving us any indication. Let's go ahead and turn off that strategy tester and kind of see what that looks like. Because honestly, we're getting mostly closing our long position, whatever you want to call it, right? It's basically screaming at us here, do not open a long position because you want to close them. So in turn, hypothetically, you want to basically have a short position open in return to that. So I guess what we're getting at here is that Bollinger Bands are not telling us a darn thing. They're really just giving us confirmation that further downside is expected. And then we can also see here on our CC Golden Indicator, we have one potential entry target here, but keep in mind, we're well below all the moving averages. It's not the best time to get in, okay? So if you are using this indicator, keep in mind that you're going to get a lot of little false positives here because we're on the wrong side of the tracks. So pay attention to that. You want to make sure you're above these moving averages, the cloud effectively, in order to take a position. The same concept applies with the Ichimoku cloud itself as well, right? We got these lagging moving averages that really help us understand where we're going to be in the near future. Okay, right now we're on the wrong side of tracks. There's really no reason to take a long position unless you're dollar cost averaging, and even that at this point seems kind of risky. So I don't have a lot of faith here right now in Pepe. I feel like if we were to continue lower, 105 would probably be the realistic bouncing point, because that's where we have the most amount of volume previously as a support. Right now, at this level, I don't think we have much to really consider. I would just, kind of hang out and wait for a little bit for it to stabilize, because even though this coin can jump around a little bit, I think the probability of it shooting upwards higher, just to say back to the 146 range, is pretty low right now. It's a very low probability. Again, this is all statistical probabilities based on, analyzing trends and patterns. So at this point, I would estimate the price action to start trying to consolidate sideways at the very best, and then potentially even continue lower once we have that consolidation effort. Again, we're overextended. It would make sense to get some sideways action, but for right now, I would hope for the best, expect the worst, right? Because again, expecting the worst is probably the best case scenario for us, and we need to recognize that it could still happen. Just because we're overextended does not mean it's not going to continue. So just keep that in mind, a lot of reasons here. So much more signs pointing down than up for right now, okay? So please be careful and cautious again. Community members, thanks again for joining me. Hope you all learned something here today, of course. Be sure to tune in to tomorrow's video. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.